Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. I'm recording this podcast on Sunday, and I probably should have recorded this on Saturday because I was in a lot better mood before that Packer game. And that is the extent to which we are going to speak on that topic. So if you are watching this on Monday, kind of an exciting day for me. I've got my annual physical. I'll talk about that in a second. And then at 11 this morning, I will be the guest on Dr. Sean Baker's podcast. Now, this is just the recording of the podcast. I'm not sure when it's actually going to be released, but as soon as I know, I will let all of you know. Additionally, my interview with Dr. Ken Berry, that should hopefully go live on his channel this week. Fingers crossed. Again, I will let all of you know once it goes live. I will send out a community announcement and link to it. But back to my doctor's appointment today. I had the lab work done last week, and it was green across the board. So everything in the overall metabolic panel was great. My PSA unmoved, and the cholesterol. Here I was gearing myself up for the cholesterol and statin fight with my primary care physician. Here's what my cholesterol results were. Total cholesterol 170, LDL 105, HDL 51, triglycerides 72. So according to the lab report, all of those values are either in the optimal or near optimal category. So looks like I probably won't be having that statin conversation with the doctor after all. I had mentioned a couple of podcasts ago that in order to avoid this whole statin conversation with my doctor, I had tried out a few different over-the-counter supplements. Now here's the deal. Since I didn't test right before taking the supplements, and since I was taking, I think, 4 different things, I just figured throw it all at the wall, see what sticks. This is really not at all scientific. I don't know if my cholesterol just got better on its own, or if one of these supplements helped, or somehow all in tandem they worked. But I will list them down in the description below, just in case you're interested. I just want to be really clear that I'm not pimping for any of these products. I don't know if they had an effect or not, but I took them. Cholesterol's lower, and this should be a pretty speedy trip to the doctor this time. Another topic I covered last week was about Marina's bakery in League City, Texas, and how basically they were exposed for fraud. And that's probably the polite word for what they were doing, because they were selling products that contain gluten and contain sugar as gluten-free and low carb. And I got a number of comments from viewers down in that area who had also tried products from Marina's and saw their glucose spike, similar to what I saw, and similar, I guess, to what everybody saw if they're measuring their glucose after eating something from Marina's. And the more I thought about this whole thing, the more upset I got, because it isn't just fraud. It's not just lying to people to sell product. It is endangerment. And I'm not a lawyer. Maybe one of you are and could speak on this. It feels like this ought to be a crime. It feels like somebody could go after the owners of this bakery for something. So an example I thought of, if say you knowingly gave peanuts to someone who has a peanut allergy, that is essentially like poisoning them. That's trying to do harm to them. If you did it knowingly and knew that they had an allergy, I struggle to see the difference between that and what Marina's did. If you are giving high sugar products as low carb to a diabetic, or you're giving products with gluten to someone with celiac, isn't that poisoning somebody? Isn't that a crime of some sort? So definitely, if one of you is aware of the law around this, and especially if you are down in that area, I would love to know more. I would love to know, can somebody go after these people at Marina's Bakery from a criminal standpoint? Let me know, if you know, down in the comments below. And speaking of comments, one of the things I have noticed again recently, this happened a few years ago, where there would be comments left on my page or on my channel under videos, and I would see them. And very often it'd be something where I would see it on my phone. I'm out in the car. I'm not driving. Terry would be driving. I wouldn't be looking at comments if I were driving. But I'll see a comment and I'll think, oh, this is something I want to give a thoughtful response to. I don't want to be just quickly typing it in on the phone. I'll do it when I get back home and get on my PC. And then I get there and the comment is gone. It hasn't gone into like the held for review bucket that YouTube creates. It's just gone. And I don't know if someone would delete their own comment. I mean, I didn't delete it, it just disappeared. But especially, there was one, it was a fairly lengthy comment and seemed very, very well thought out. And that's why I felt it deserved an equally thought out response, and it was just gone. And I don't know why. I don't know what happened. So if you leave a comment and you see it just disappear, it's something on YouTube's end. I didn't do it. I mean, to me, if someone leaves a comment that's worth deleting, it's probably a person worth channel banning. So I don't delete comments unless it's a duplicate comment. Someone left something twice in a row and it's just sort of cluttering things up. Then I'll delete it. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. Continuing on the topic of comments, and I've mentioned this in the past, I try to always give a heart or a reply to comments. I mean, some days I get kind of busy, there may be 500 comments, it's kind of hard to go through them all and give everybody attention. And I may miss a few here and there. But the reason I do that is, and I've said this before, I really want Serious Keto to feel like a community. I want you all to sort of have a voice, to be heard, or to be read by me, by other people. And I love that interaction. I love when I see replies that aren't from me, replies from some of you to others of you, helping each other out. I think that's great. But also, just as a YouTube user myself, when I go and I leave a comment on some other channel, and it's generally not keto channels because, as I've mentioned before, keto, that's already my job. So I don't go and watch much in the way of other keto channels, but I'll get out onto like a virtual reality channel or a grilling channel or, something like that, appliance repair channel, and leave a comment. And when I see in notifications that I get a heart or that I get a reply, it kind of gives me the warm fuzzies. It feels good. And when I leave a comment on a given channel and I don't hear anything back, I don't even get the courtesy of a little heart, it kind of bums me out. Like, what, you're too busy? You're too busy? Well, maybe you are too busy. But still, I try not to be too busy because I know what it means to me when I get a reply or when I get a heart, and that's why I want to do the same for all of you. And that brings me to the final topic. This is going to be a shorter podcast. One of the things that I've been seeing a lot of on YouTube over the last couple of weeks is channels announcing that they're quitting. They're quitting YouTube. And by that, I don't mean keto channels. I don't think I've seen any recently that have announced that they're quitting YouTube. These are some big channels, though, that are just stopping. And they're announcing that they're stopping. We're talking like 1 million subscribers or more. And they cite a number of different reasons. And I think they're all legit. Certainly, they're all things that I've felt myself. So one is just the grind of it all. The fact that you can't stop. Once you get going, especially if you have monetized your channel, you're in. You got to keep going. Day in, day out, making content. It becomes really, it consumes your life. So I understand that, and I understand the burnout aspect of it as well. The next thing that they cite is just sort of the stress of interacting with people. I talked a second ago about comments. Not all of them are nice, believe it or not. And that can be stressful. It's easy to say, oh, don't worry about it. Just blow it off. It's a bunch of keyboard warriors. They're all brave, in their anonymity. Don't pay them any mind. They're just trolls. It's a lot easier to say than it is to do because it can sting from time to time. But, it's part of the job. The third element that these channels have cited for their reason for stopping, and to me, this is a major concern. And in fact, I've talked to a number of different YouTubers outside of the keto realm and asked, are you experiencing this same thing, which is the battle with the algorithm? What is it that causes YouTube to promote some videos and not promote others? And the big problem seems to be shorts. YouTube just is trying to promote shorts. And a lot of us long-form content creators are not interested in doing that. The content we create doesn't lend itself to that format. But because YouTube is so big on promoting it, now we're sort of losing out. We're losing out on views, and as a result, we're losing out on revenue. And it's interesting that all of the content creators that I've seen these I'm Quitting YouTube videos lately from, they all say the exact same thing. They're like, it's enough work as it is having a YouTube channel without trying to push a rope up a hill. I think I'm mixing metaphors there. And before any of you get concerned and start thinking, where's Steve going with this? Is he going to quit? No, I don't plan to. But you never know. If YouTube keeps deprioritizing long-form videos and it gets to a point where economically this is just not something I can continue to do and I have to go back to corporate America again, then I will. It's my hope, though, that shorts run their course. At some point, we decide this is a fad, the fad is over. I don't know. I don't know what we can do. I don't know where we, any of us content creators or you, the viewers, have the power to steer YouTube away from this shorts mentality that they have. But I hope it goes away. I hope it goes away soon, because it's a shame to see some of these great content creators get frustrated and quit. So I'd like to know if there are some channels that were your favorites, that you've seen some of these I'm Quitting YouTube videos. Let me know down in the comments below. But that is going to be it for this podcast. I got some exciting news coming soon. Might be related to my 2 flavors of keto chow. So stay tuned for that. As always, thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.